Hello and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of My Big Fat Journey, where it feels like I've been oversaturating the channel a little bit with these lately, so my apologies. I will try and make this one a little bit quicker. There's not really too much to cover since everything's already kind of been covered, but the official weigh-ins are back on for My Big Fat Journey, starting with this little bit of news. July 23rd, just 2 days ago, weighed in at 303 flat. Today, just 2 days later, I know I shouldn't be weighing in that close together, but kind of glad I did, because I'm now down to 297.6, back below 300. Thank God. That made me feel so bad getting back above 300. Jesus. But that gave a 5.4 pound loss. 5.4 pound loss in 2 days. So in the last episodes, I was kind of bringing up the question of, do you really lose fresh weight fast? And there's probably something to it. I'm interested to see where I'll be at right here next week, because at a rate like that, I mean, that's substantial. Do I think that I'm going to be losing like another 15 pounds? No, absolutely not. It would be nice if I was able to see like a 7-pound loss, but I'm not holding my breath on any of that. Right now, what I'm hoping for is steady decrease to get us back to where we were in maybe about a month and a half's time. And that's really unfortunate, is that a vacation can set you back so far. But you wanna know something? I still say it was worth it. It was definitely worth it to escape from keto for a year, to truly try literally every single food that I could have possibly wanted to try that I haven't tried in a long time. One of the most fascinating things that I found, by the way, is throughout all this, like, I hadn't had soda or anything. And of course, since you haven't tried soda in basically a year, I wanted to try some different ones. Orange soda, incredibly orangey now to me. Way more orange than I used to remember. Sprite and Sierra Mist taste about the same to me. Maybe just a little bit more on the tart side of things, because it just kind of hit a lot more. Not really sure how best to describe it, except it's stronger. It's just stronger taste. But the one thing that's always been a thing in my life is, no matter what restaurant I go to, usually I have to ask for what's clear. And basically meaning, like, if there's Mountain Dew or Sprites are preferred. I was never a cola drinker. I just didn't care for it. And I was very interested in the fact that I hadn't tried it in forever. So when my parents got a Coke, I asked if I could have a sip of it. And sure enough, Coke is very tolerable for me now. And I find that absolutely weird as heck. I don't know. I just don't know. It was weird. Coke has totally changed in taste for me to the point of where I can actually tolerate it now. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out and go get Coke. I'm not addicted to this stupid stuff. I still don't prefer it over Mountain Dew or Sprite, and let alone water. Water is my main go-to drink of choice, thank God. But it was just interesting how much the taste buds have changed in the matter of a year just by depriving myself of so much carb-related stuff. It's very, very weird. You don't need any more. I love you so much. But in order for me to love you, I need to take the can of Ready Whip away from you. Thank you. So yeah, it was just very, very weird. The one thing I'm curious now on, which I will not try for quite some time, but next time that I have like a good cheat day, maybe I'll try root beer. Root beer has always been like a borderline thing for me, of where like I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. I like more the cream soda side of it. So I'm interested, maybe root beer would be a solid favorite then. No, I don't know. And I also did not try any alcohol. I don't know anything there. So interested to see how alcohol would be at some point too. But as for everything else, food-wise, consumed it all, loved it all. And there were a couple things that tasted better than I remembered them, and yada yada yada. Find one more. But the one last thing I wanted to cover is the keto flu. The keto flu has passed for right now. I don't think it's really going to be coming back, but here on my day off, I woke up feeling great, and as the day has been progressing, I feel completely back to normal. And it is such a great feeling. It really is. Like, my body feels back to being clean again, and it feels just amazing. It does. It's really hard to explain the feeling to people who don't know, but you just feel healthy and you can just feel a little bit more clean. And the one thing I found really interesting is that my cravings went from ravenous and the term hangry to today, suddenly it is like a switch flipped, and the cravings and hunger are much more controllable. It's much more manageable. It's back to before I was going on vacation, of where I can say no, where I had to give in a couple of times these past couple of days just to take the edge off just a little bit, which was just in the form of like a little bit of pepperoni and like a slice of cheese, just a little something just to put something in there. Oh, and the chicken broth my mother made, by the way. That's some good stuff. But just a little bit to take the edge off, just to get me back to this point where I can actually comfortably say no. And instead of being in agony going, no, I can't, no, I gotta. Like, seriously, the pain of not having anything was really unbearable. The one thing I can't pinpoint is if it was a psychological or an actual physical thing that was making me so ravenous and needing food so desperately. I don't know if it is the fact that my stomach was so expanded from having all this food for that while that it's taken a little bit to shrink it back down, so that way it's a little bit more at ease, or if it's a psychological thing of all these carbs and sugars have been going into your head, and then when it's suddenly relieved, that you just are like craving it like a drug. Like I've always said, food is definitely a drug. It can be used as something that is going to make you feel so much better. And that is what I did for such a long time, was I used food as a coping mechanism to try and help myself feel better, which is how I got to where I was. I wasn't fat, I was full of feels. But I am to a point right now where I realize that that's causing more damage to me than the psychological benefit. But overall, it's nice to be back into probably not full-on ketosis yet. I'd probably put myself at a 1.25 ketone level right now, and I'd still like to peak at around a 2.5 to 3, so that'll probably take me another 1 or 2 days to get there. But once I get back to that point, we should maintain, and we should see some pretty good numbers, hopefully. But like I said, 5.4 pounds in just 2 days. That's great. It's great. But it's weird to see that big of a drop. I wasn't really sure what to think about that when I first saw it this morning. I thought maybe the scale was broken, but I did the reweighs and everything was right. So, but that is going to do it for this episode, though. I think I rambled a little bit too long still. God dang it. So sorry for oversaturating the feed, but thank you guys so much for the continued support. I will see you guys back here, hopefully probably just next week. I don't think there'll probably be any diary entries, but if something comes up, I'll report it. So thank you guys again. I'll see you guys back here next week. A good night.